Good morning. I think we're live here. I don't know. I still got this thing saying it's publishing. So as soon as that's off my screen over here, I'll be able to see what's going on. All right. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. Boom. All right. So this is the stock right here, and it's called PRTH. Let me try and shrink this down, like to be able to have it to where you can see the whole shebang here. Okay. Is that it? Almost. Almost. Alright, so yeah, this is the stock that I really think has some um opportunity. So let's go ahead and look at it on the longer chart and I'll explain exactly why. You can see the stock has very light volume. Not a lot of people are trading it. The highest it's been is $4. So let's just go ahead and look at it on the max chart here. You can see ever since it IPO, this is when it IPO'd. Ever since it pretty much came out, it hasn't really done too much except for go down. But that's not always a bad thing. That's actually happened with a bunch of IPOs. That happens in the beginning, and then afterwards they go up, like crazy. Let's go look at this stock and see how it's operating. Oh yeah, see, this is a different company, but I'd stay away from this one. But anyways, let's go back to that. And I'll explain to you why I think this stock has some opportunity. And it's not just because of the chart. Actually, its chart doesn't look all that great. Its chart actually looks pretty bad, but they're earning. Okay, so anyways, let's just go look at the numbers. That's what matters. So the important part to me is this right here. The percentage held by insiders, 84%. So that means the people that are running this company definitely believe in their company. And even though there's an 84% of shares held by insiders, there's also an 8% institutional ownership. Out of the 67 million shares outstanding, you can see there's only a 7 million share float. And there's no options chain on this stock, which means stocks, in my opinion, without options chains are actually subject to move a lot faster. The moves can happen, a lot more lucratively. So that being said, when you see this, some stocks, like what was it, Yeti? I believe it was Yeti. A stock was going from like $10 to like sometimes over $150 in like a day or two, but there was no options chain. So now there's a couple of things that's not so great about this company. It has high debt. You can see its total debt right there, 492 million. Basically what this company does is they are a payment provider. They have a, let's go over here and look at it. So here's we can see. So they pay their chairman 1.1 mil, which actually isn't all that. It's not that crazy. As far as like they're not overpaying their CEO. Analysis. Let's just look and see what they say on there. I haven't even looked at the analysis. I don't really care what they say, but it doesn't really look like any of them is even covering the stock. But anyways, I think it's kind of just like a unknown stock, pretty much. Like people know about it, but you can see Times Square Capital Management, 2 million shares, 5 million. Okay. Top mutual funds, AMG Small Cap Growth Fund. So, you can see there's not a whole lot of institutional investment right now. They just have like some like BlackRock's in. They just have like some little starter positions. But these guys being in the game, they're ready, Number of institutional holders. Okay. So, inside roster. See, that's what we want to see is the insiders. So, I'm guessing that's them. I'm not sure. Insider transactions. purchases, 8 sales. So the insiders have sold some shares, but nothing crazy in comparison to the amount of ownership. But I personally think this stock has a lot of opportunity. Yeah, this chart does not look attractive, but I think in the long run it'll actually look a lot better. So this is it on the 3-year chart, on the max chart. It's really pretty near the bottom, and it has tons of room for growth. And with that low float, I see that this could move very crazily under the right circumstances. This is one of them stocks that could pop to like $30-$40 in a day or 2 days under the right circumstances with the industry that they're involved in. They're in the financial business, so there's definitely big money out there, and it just depends on what they do with it. But the fact that the insiders own so much of the company is, in my opinion, shows a lot of trust in their company, and they definitely have their skin in the game. So it's in their best interest to make this business succeed. So, that's my reasoning, and that's why I think that this company could definitely make some money. Just because seeing an 84% ownership by insiders, that's pretty unheard of. For your typical stock. Most of the time it's 20-30% on the high end. So when you see something that's like 84, you definitely want to look into it. And there's very little short interest. I mean, actually, that's decent. There's not a lot of volume. You can see here recently, though, the volume has picked up. So you can see like the average 3-month volume was only 152,000, which means not many people had been. Let's go back here. Not too many people have been trading the stock in between here and here. And as you can see, the volume has started to pick up, and that's we've started to see some action. But you can tell basically from like before this, there's almost been no volume on this stock. And that just basically means that there's so much little of a float. This company also probably doesn't release much news. Honestly, I haven't even looked. Yeah, see, they don't really release much news, but they got stuff going on. You know, um, do, do, do. But so one of the downsides is this is I believe it is a Chinese company. I'm not 100% sure. I believe I've seen something about that, or maybe I'm having it mixed up with one of the different companies I was looking at. Duh, duh, duh. No, we don't care about the conversations. Someone is selling. Ooh, yeah. See, it's Chinese, so we'll see what happens. That was a long time ago. Never mind. What am I looking at? So it looks like this guy is literally just trying to bash this stock. Look, this guy was literally trying to. This is the only person posting. Wow. Let's go to the newest reactions. Yeah, see, like nobody is trading this stock. You can see nobody. Like it's kind of like floating low radar. There's other companies like that as well. Like I still think that this company, CLLDY, is gonna do well over the long term. This stock also pays a dividend, so that's kind of cool. Uh, and it pays. They haven't missed a dividend payment in a long time. Uh, but then this went Genus. I still definitely believe in Genus. Once we get back up to this $3 mark, everything will be a lot more locked in. Until then, unfortunately, the bottom is, it's still a ways away. Like as far as mapping a bottom, there almost is none, because as you can see, it was at 1.5 cents. So yeah, there's really no bottom. So it's kind of hard to say where to buy this one at. Although in the long run, I don't think it really matters, because I believe in the long run it's gonna like make this look like a small run. So I ultimately think that Genus will hit 30 to maybe even $50. And that's not just me like throwing out a random number. That's me like having done the math with the share calculation and market cap. And that's also including the dilution that they're planning on doing. So, I pre-calculated all that into my estimation, and I still think $20 like is one of my minimum targets, and then I think it'll definitely go higher than that. But I'm thinking possibly that this stock could actually hit, depending on their next earnings report, they could possibly hit $10 by the end of this year. And that's just my opinion. I could definitely be wrong, but uh, so they've never actually their earnings. This last earnings they kind of got beat down, but that's because they were spending a lot of money to market their product and get their products put out on the shelves. So they were spending money for good reasons. So yeah, they didn't make any money, but that's because they were preparing to make money. So the cool thing about Genus is there's 219 million shares as of right now of Genus, but then they're doing a dilution. I think 100 million shares they're going to add or something like that. So the insiders hold about 29% of the company, and the CEO is the largest shareholder on Genus. Uh, they have $54 million cash on hand, and only $6 million in debt. So, that's a pretty strong financial statement in itself. There's an average of 17 million shares traded per day on Genus. And also, I think that they have a good footprint to grow in the industry that they're in, considering that most child television makers, in my opinion, are garbage, and most parents, a lot of parents, should be slapped in the mouth for letting their kids watch the things that they do, because they let their kids watch garbage, and then they see these other parents with these rabid children that are out doing very bad things at young ages, doing drugs and out having sex at 12 years old, and just all those types of behaviors, and then they wonder why. Well, it's because they're letting their children watch garbage. They're watching Hannah Montana at 6 years old, which is, you know while there's nothing directly bad about Hannah Montana, and I'm just using it as an example, but the subliminal messages it teaches, the like a young girl, she's all about boys and she dresses slutty, and it's literally it's garbage. It really is. It's garbage. People think it's good, and all this stuff, but it's actually not. It's actually very bad. They put a lot of subliminal stuff in there, and they're portraying bad values onto your children, and there's just much more to it. And Genius is not about that life. They're against that, and they want to actually give value to people. And that's why I personally agree with them, because, not only do they, like, I agree with their business model, as far as quality content that actually is educational and not just brain rot. So, that's my reason for that. And overall, yeah, I feel like it's a good reason. That does not guarantee this company's success. It does not guarantee that they're going to make it. As a matter of fact, that those morals actually have a lot of companies betting against them. Like this company has been shorted so heavily by the same like famous short sellers that like to trash companies. What they like to do is they like to find companies that have really good morals and values, and then they like to destroy them because they're probably paid by some of the larger, like for example, do you think Disney the company of Disney wants this business to succeed. Now, Disney has hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. Do you think Disney would want to give up any of that to this company, who would be a severe threat to their entire monopolization of the kids network? It would be detrimental to Disney for this company to come to light, because this company is against everything that Disney is. Disney is actually a very sick cult, and this company right here is against that. And so that be and you know they didn't say this. I'm saying this. So that being said, who's to say that Disney is not involved in this massive short selling? Because, and actually, I'm not just saying that this happened. It's actually statistics that there was millions and millions and millions and millions of shares shorted, like naked shorts, like more shares than were even existed shorted from these points, which means market makers were shorting this company, which usually it means there was one of the top 10 largest banks behind it, which means maybe it was in one of their other clients' best interests to be short selling the stock. And the bad part about that is at the same time that they're short selling, they're also putting out negative comments and articles and stuff like that in order to scare you to sell your stock. So just keep that in mind whenever they're announcing all these lawsuits and stuff. These people are also short on the stock, so of course they want you to sell it. They want you to sell it for the cheapest amount possible because they want to buy their cover. You know, they're making money off of anyone that's believing their crap. So, that being said, that's my reasons. I really, really, really think Genus is going to be, have a good future. I believe in what they do. I think they have good values as a company, and I think they have good opportunity. And, hopefully we start to see more go down with this child sex trafficking and pedophilia, because I truly, truly believe that pedophilia could single-handedly shut down the company of Disney. If it came to light how many child stars have been sexually abused by top executives at Disney, I think if that ever came out into the public light, Disney would be over with. Somebody would have to buy Disney's name if anybody even wanted it, because I can guarantee you, there's so much evidence. People don't want to admit the evidence because, talking about things, a lot of people just don't want to talk about things and admit the harsh reality of what's going on. But the reality is there's been many instances of child stars in Disney being sexually abused, you know, and you look at the way they all grow up, and even if they don't admit to being sexually abused, look at the way they act. Look at their adult life. Look at who they were as a kid. Look at the opportunity. Look at the lifestyle that they really had. And then look what they've done with it. And then think about how people with major traumas react in certain situations. And it becomes apparent that many of these ex-child stars that grow up and end up becoming drug addicts and like sexual deviants and all these other things, it becomes apparent that many of them were most likely molested or subject to unusual treatment as a child. And so, anyways, that's just one of my the main reason, pretty much, why I like Genus. So, anyways, I just wanted to explain that. Sorry to go on that whole spew about all that, but it's something I actually believe in, and it's something that I disagree with. So, I just wanted to go ahead and state that out there. But anyways, yeah, if anybody actually watches this, those are my reasons. I was just feeling like making a video this morning. It's about 6 o'clock a.m. And, I was just sitting here doing my research, and, I figured I'd make a quick little video about these two stocks that, I'm keeping my eye on. I don't really have any money to buy any stocks right now. I'm all stocked out. I already have everything that I can have. But I truly like both of these companies that I've talked about, and I think that they both could present, tremendous opportunity in the future.